Joined once again on Chamber Amplified by the Treasurer of the great state of Ohio, Robert Sprague. Robert, thanks for joining us again.
Oh, I'm glad to be with you, Doug.
So last time we had you here, we were talking about a new program from the state to help home buyers. Today, we're focused more on a program that can help businesses with access to capital, that being the Buckeye Business Advantage. So I think the first thing to do is get people familiar with what the program is.
Right. Well, I think, Buckeye Business Advantage, we just launched it several weeks ago, so it's brand new. And our thought on this was, we have a $25 billion balance sheet, and we help farmers through a link deposit program called AgLink. And what we do is we reduce the interest rate they have on a planting loan. And we thought to ourselves, we want to make sure that as production comes back to the United States, it gets located in Ohio. We're a great state and we want to use our balance sheet. And we also recognize the fact that, quite frankly, the interest rate environment is too high. And it really makes this affordability issue front and center for small businesses. In many cases, the small businesses that I've talked to, whether they're in Findlay or down in Lima, we were just down there for their Chamber of Commerce meeting, or across our great state, in many cases, they would like to expand, particularly those that are in the manufacturing sector, but they can't always afford the machines. They can't find the money to be able to expand the product line or build the addition onto the business. And so we thought to ourselves, well, maybe there's a way that we could help small businesses in the same way that we help our agricultural community. So our Buckeye Business Advantage is very similar to our AgLink program. And what we're doing is we're allowing small businesses in the state of Ohio to take out a loan from their local financial institution. And behind the scenes, we will help reduce the interest rate on that loan by up to 3% for 2 years on up to $1 million. And so that's the program in a nutshell.
So that sounds great. And I imagine people listening to this is like, that's awesome. How do I sign up? Before we get to that part, who is eligible for this program?
So you have to be domiciled. Over 51% of your production or your employees also have to be in the state of Ohio. And you have to have fewer than 150 employees in the state. So it's for small businesses. That's the target. And in October, we really focused on manufacturing because October was manufacturing month. But it applies to businesses across the board. We want to put our balance sheet to work for small businesses because we know that those small businesses become medium-sized businesses, and then the big businesses eventually evolve from the medium-sized businesses. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to promote our small businesses, and that's the target of the program.
And not only that, but when we have strong small businesses, they invest back in the community as well. So it feels like, while its intended purpose may not be to strengthen communities, one of the ripple effects of the program is that it's going to do that.
I think it is. And, we've got Jobs Ohio, where we give big incentives to companies that come to Ohio from outside of our state. And we very rarely, in some cases, have state programs that help companies that have been here for generations and have done the right thing. They're the sponsor of the softball program, or they're helping people in their community. And so this was our chance to do something for those businesses that are already here. They've paid taxes for years and years and years into the state of Ohio. And it's a way for us to be able to have a program that fits their needs and helps them expand. Because you're right, the small businesses are the ones that are part of the fabric of our communities.
So the nice thing about this is it also helps link businesses with a trusted financial advisor through area banks. And I think that just kind of gives it another part of credibility. If I go to a bank and somebody that I already work with, I'm probably going to trust their judgment on this program. I know that they're going to help me through that. How do banks get linked up with this program so that they can begin to advise their clients to use it?
It's really a key part of our program. You don't come to the treasurer's office. We're not making the loan. You're getting the loan through the financial institution that you normally use. So go to your local lender, have a conversation with them. They will underwrite the loan. And then what we do is we have a conversation with that financial institution and get them signed up for our program so that they can pass that interest rate savings along to you. So everything goes through just like a normal loan. And it's flexible capital, I should mention too, Doug. So this could be for you to expand a product line. It could be for
Mhm.
working capital. You want to hire more employees. All we ask is that you're expanding your balance sheet in the state of Ohio. There are no job requirements on the back end because we realize if you're making the investment and you're a small business, typically, again, you're investing into the community and you're going to hire people. And so we know that that's going to be the case downstream. So there's not a lot of onerous paperwork. You just go to your local financial institution. They work with the treasurer's office behind the scenes, and we'll do the financial magic with the financial institution. But it's pretty seamless for small businesses.
So this is brand new, hot off the presses. Probably not a lot of examples of it, people taking advantage of it just yet. But programs like this aren't born in a vacuum. I imagine there's a lot of conversations with businesses, lending institutions before rolling something out like this. What were the big selling points when you first started talking to employers throughout Ohio about a possibility of doing something like this?
Well, I think first of all, the thing is that people wanted to have enough capacity. You know, they wanted to be able to do something up to $1 million. That's the first piece. The second piece is, you know, we talk to small businesses and also the lenders. You know, are there going to be a bunch of clawbacks? Is there going to be a bunch of
Mhm.
onerous paperwork? What happens from a bureaucracy standpoint? How difficult is it to submit and be part of the program? So we wanted to streamline all that, and we wanted to make the interest rate reduction enough that it was meaningful. And right now we're well over 2%. I can't remember the exact amount of the deduction, but it depends on the interest rate environment. And as you know, interest rates have come down just recently. So, but it's well over 2%, the interest rate reduction, and that's meaningful to small businesses. We had a manufacturer down in Dayton that I got to talk to as part of a roundtable, and he said, Robert, he said, I think they were buying over 10 machines, CNC machines in this particular case. They were dramatically increasing his productivity,
Mhm.
but he said, I'm paying 10.25% for the line of credit to be able to buy these machines. He said, if you could reduce that to 8.25% or 7.25%, this may be the most significant program that you have in the state of Ohio for small businesses. So we wanted to make sure the interest rate reduction was something that was meaningful and that people were excited about.
Yeah, at scale, that 2% savings is huge for our local businesses. So that's it's awesome to see that already getting good feedback on that. You mentioned the AgLink program earlier. Just want to do a quick check in on that program while we have you here. Remind people again what AgLink is and how it helps our area farmers.
Yeah, if you're an agribusiness in the state of Ohio, you can apply for uh, one of these loans and one of the link deposit pieces. Um, I'll tell you, the AgLink program has been tremendously successful, and we've dramatically increased the caps, and the agricultural community has responded in kind. They really appreciate this. One of the things that we were doing previously is we just had the window open in February. We've now opened it, Doug, to the entire year, so you can get a
Mhm.
loan at any time. In every quarter of the year, you can apply for one of these link deposit loans. And the interest rate savings is very similar to what we just described. And the agricultural community really uses this product a lot. As a matter of fact, we set records last year with the number of loans that we made and also the savings for our farm community. And quite frankly, it couldn't have come along at a better time.
It definitely was the year to have that in place. That's for sure. As you go around, you talk to area farmers, you talk to area businesses, and things like that. Obviously, the AgLink program and now the Buckeye Business Advantage are programs designed to help those people where it's going to help them the most. But what are the biggest concerns that you hear that you also want to try and address through anything that you can do through the auditor's office or through the treasurer's office?
I think that the biggest thing right now is just this interest rate environment. It's about affordability. And that's something that we're trying to work on in the treasurer's office, because part of affordability of the interest rates, and one of the key things that the interest rates do is it makes it hard to afford a home in the state of Ohio. That's why last year we used our
Mhm.
balance sheet to come out with our new Ohio Home Buyer Plus program, that I think is the first program of its kind in the United States that actually uses this link deposit model to add to a savings rate instead of taking away from a loan interest rate. And people in the state of Ohio, if they open up one of these programs to save for a house, they can put up to $100,000 in one of our savings accounts through our Ohio Home Buyer Plus program, and they can earn up to an additional 3% on that money. I was telling a group of young people earlier, and they were asking about this program. And I said, look, I said, you can't find a better investment in the state of Ohio, because your $100,000 is insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. So it's risk-free, insured by the
Mhm.
federal government. And you're getting, in this case, probably a 2.1% increase in the interest rate. So that sends you over 6% that you're typically getting from the financial institution that
Mhm.
you've put your money at. And quite frankly, there's no risk-free investment in the United States of America that you can find at 6%. So it is the best investment in the United States of America that you can make in any financial product. Particularly, it's an investment in yourself and you being able to help your family and be able to buy that house in Ohio and call Ohio home. So we're really proud of that program too, our Ohio Home Buyer Plus program.
And of course, you can find out more information about any of these programs just going to the treasurer's website. We really appreciate your time talking about all of this today. I just want to go back to the Buckeye Business Advantage real quick, just to as we close out. Again, getting businesses interested in the program, getting them started. We're rolling it out right now. Where are people going to see more about this in the coming weeks to just kind of keep it top of mind?
Well, I think first of all, at the local chambers, go to your local chamber and right, you've got the information, Doug. I know Pat's been by, has given some information, but if you want to go look online, you can go to www.ohiotreasurer.gov, and you can look at our splash page and look at the Buckeye Business Advantage information on our splash page. Um, and go to your local financial institution and ask them about it, how you qualify for the up to 3% deduction on a new loan, and they can get in touch with us. So I think there's three different ways you can go about finding information, however you feel the most comfortable.
I think this is perfect timing. And you mentioned Pat. He was at one of our ribbon cuttings we had a week or so ago. One of the things I think we've been noticing locally is there's a new class, a younger generation of entrepreneurs, maybe in Findlay and Hancock County is the best way to describe it. And perhaps the thing that's the barrier between seeing even more of those entrepreneurs come on board is that access to capital. And this provides a bridge for that. And I look forward to what that means for Findlay and Hancock County, both in terms of manufacturing and whatever else our local entrepreneurs can come up with, because it seems like we have a lot of people with a lot of great ideas around here. And this is just another arrow in the quiver for them.
Yeah, and we need that, Doug, right? Because I mean, a lot of our industries are on the mature end of the growth
Mhm.
curve, and we need new people. We need young people and young families as well, and children. So all of that is good, and if we can foster that by lowering the interest rate for some of these young entrepreneurs, we certainly want to be able to help with that and participate.
Robert, again, we appreciate your time on the
Mhm.
podcast today. We'll have more information about this in the show notes for the podcast. Thanks for stopping by again.
Hey, I really appreciate you helping us get the word out for the community so that we can help serve the community and help serve these small businesses. Thank you so much, Doug.